Did you know that people had a problem with Yolanda Adams putting him in the music video?
What was the problem?
Because people can't separate character from real life.
Oh, okay.
People were like, "Why is Kane from Power in this gospel music
Oh my
video?"
goodness.
And
That's
I was
stupid.
like, first of all, Woody is a dancer. He was there. He's
Mm,
danced with Chris Brown for years. That's how
mm,
he got started in the industry. Was he was a dancer. Second of all, again, he's playing a character in a fictional series.
hmm
So that's not Kane dancing in a gospel music video. That is Woody dancing and praising the Lord as he should. The Bible says that
All
everything
right.
that has
All
breath,
right. All
praise
right.
the Lord. So therefore, if he wants to pray, he has breath in his body. If he wants to praise the Lord, then he can do that. Don't play with me. Don't get me started on here.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
Life is like a basketball game. Sometimes you're up, other times you're down. Opponents and adversaries coming at you left and right. However, it's not the challenges you face that define you. What defines you is how you play the game. And I play to win. Welcome to my world, Carlton's world.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Carlton's World. Now, I'm really excited about this because my guest is actually one of the co-hosts of one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to. What we talking about this time?
Yeah.
My special guest today is Jason, aka Smiley. What's going on, man?
Hey, good to be here. Thank you for inviting me to this. It's funny, I
Yes.
haven't been on my own podcast in about a month, so
You know,
I've been
you
moving
know,
around.
and you know what's funny? Because I just listened to the podcast that Josh and Brick did on Bel Air, and they
Yeah,
mentioned that you have not been there.
I have not been there. And I didn't even finish watching Bel Air yet. I didn't even listen to that podcast yet. So I forgot that I was on that. So you're talking about something that they haven't watched. So I'm like, I'm ready. Let's talk about this because
Yes,
I'm excited
yes.
about it.
I was so excited because when you was like, I just finished watching, I said, yes, please, let's do this podcast. Because I had, like I said, I had another homeboy that's he's a power fanatic.
Mm,
Um, well, I have two homeboys that are power fanatics. I already had one on here, but I had another one, and I wanted him to come on, and our schedules just didn't align. But I was so grateful that you said you would do this because he was like, yes, I just finished watching the finale. I said, yes, let's do this. Let's
literally
talk.
yesterday. Yeah. I just watched the last episode yesterday. So
um, but yeah, but before we get into it, I want people to get to know you a little bit better. Again, as I introduced, you are one of the co-hosts of what we talking about this time podcast, and I want to say, for people who are listening or watching, um, I am a big fan of this podcast. I do voices for Jason's brother, Josh, who I did mention. Josh is also the animator of the opening of Carlton's World, and
that's right.
he is the animator of Carlton's World, the animated series. So, shout out to Josh.
Shout out to Josh.
Did you know that he was doing? Did he talk to you? He was doing an animated
Yeah.
series for me? You did that?
Yeah. He
Okay.
tell me we talk about everything. So yeah. He was just saying like you doing it right. That's what he was telling me. Like he's been with a lot of different people that wants animations, and he was like, Carlton did it right. I need more people like Carlton that knows what they want, that has a big vision, that works on everything at once, and then releases it over time, so it's not pressured like week by week. So that's a really good way of creating content. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah. I, I've always wanted to do voices for animation. I've always wanted to do that, and then that's why I so appreciate Josh so much because he definitely he made a dream come true for me because I've always wanted to do this. And in working with Josh, I was like, I think it would be cool to turn some stuff that I've went through in real life,
mm,
like, but make it funny. Like let's do like an animated version of things that have happened in my life. So I definitely appreciate Josh for helping me make this happen. So yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so I said all that to say, I'm a big fan of the podcast. I was working with Josh, and y'all did an episode about Pastor Thorne, the first one,
Oh yeah, that's right.
and so I listened, and I was tagged in it, and I listened to it. I said these guys are pretty funny, and so I literally was like on a 2 week binge, and I listened to every single podcast,
Wow.
even when it was called Marcus and Josh or Mark and Josh,
Right,
whatever
the
it was
Marcus and
called.
Josh show. Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to every single podcast. I was like, man, this because you guys, I mean, again, y'all talk about entertainment, and that's what I'm big
Yeah.
into. So y'all talk about shows
Right.
and movies and everything. But tell the people a little bit more about you, and who you are and all that great stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That's most people call me Smiley, except for like a handful of folks. I've been going by that for like 20 years. So but it's because when I love smiley faces, it's kind of is one of those things that kind of like helped identify me in college. And so, but I am a writer, poet, published self-published 3 poetry books and 1 Bible study guide. And I have 1 audiobook. So those are, which was one from the poetry book. I do so I'm a full-time college minister. Like my role is a campus minister, area director over the state of Mississippi. I started a nonprofit in honor of my father called the Andy Abrams Foundation, working on renovating the property. I'm a dreamer, visionary. I definitely do voice acting. So like my brother, I'm his go-to person since I was 12. So we started off with a little camera and some action figures, and he was like, "Hey, help me do a voice," and that's been fun. So that's been something I've been doing for about 25 years. So I love it. I love it. And even as I can talk to other people in the industry, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing a lot of what I do when I do voice acting is very similar to what, I just never pursued it as a career. But whenever I retire from doing full-time ministry, I might pick up voice acting. So I love it.
And he's very good at it, ladies and gentlemen. I think my favorite voice from you, and it's not the actual animation, but it's more so of the parodies. My favorite voice from you is the Leonardo from the Teenage
Oh
Mutant Ninja
yeah,
television
that's fun.
series. That's my favorite one. I look forward to that every time.
Mm. It's fun. I do enjoy it. And I did a voice for your book. So
Yes,
that's really that was fun. I was
yeah.
actually working with Marcus last night, helping him with his finishing up his voices for that.
Yes,
So
and I just got that email, so I appreciate the both of you, for sure. Yeah, I'm actually doing an audio for people who don't know. I didn't make an announcement about it yet, but um, we're doing an audio book for Titan Warriors, the Alignment of Power. So the book 1, we're actually making an audio book for it, and I'm getting all the voices together. So I'm gonna be editing soon and all that great stuff. So
man, that's gonna
yeah,
be a lot of work, man. All the
yeah,
different voices.
yes,
And you're self publishing all that. So right?
yes,
Or you have
correct.
okay, so that's gonna be you're gonna have to get all that mixing, mastering, all that stuff, man. Have
Yep.
fun.
I will. But I'm looking forward to it. I think because I know a lot of people are like, Carlton, I thought you retired. So when I said retired, I meant I'm retiring from filmmaking production.
Mhm.
I've been doing production work for 20 plus years.
Wow.
And I just felt like there was other stuff that I wanted to do creatively. I wanted to focus more on my writing. I wanted to do my poetry. There's other thing, and I needed a balance in life as well, personally as well too, because my life has been constantly the grind, and it's like
Mm.
no, I want to enjoy life. Like I just turned 39, and I'm at a point where I'm just like last year I was like, nah, I really want to. I've given so much of myself to Victory Productions and the grind and everything. I need to give some time to me, and
Mm.
I thought that was very important and to find balance in my life, because
Yeah.
I'm a workaholic, so it's like I was like
Mhm.
work, and it was like, nah, brother, you gotta actually not just exist, you gotta live. So
Yeah. Man, I think that fits the show that we talking about.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
that's real. That's real, man.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Power, Book 2, Ghost. The series finale just went off, and there has been a lot of mixed feelings about this finale.
Okay.
But before we get into that, let's just talk about the series as a whole. Did you watch? Well, first of all, let's talk about the parent series. Did you watch
Yeah.
Power? Did you watch Power?
Absolutely, absolutely. So
Okay.
yeah, I think I got into Power when it was still on air. I think 2 or 3 seasons into it. So like, 10 years ago, everybody was talking about Power. Like it was
Yes.
like power. And I'm like, what is power? Like I was so confused. Like, you gotta see Power. I'm like, what is power? And so like one of my roommates at the time, I think, had like the DVD season 1 or something like that. And so I was like, let me check this out. And so I think it was like already on season 2 at the time. So I just binged 2 seasons. I was like, oh my goodness. I see why everybody's talking about this. So I got into it pretty quickly. Of course, the first episode, I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Power.
Do not watch this with around kids. It's not for kids.
No, definitely. Don't watch it around kids. Don't watch it at work.
Yeah, no.
Don't watch it around your parents if they, they're not comfortable watching stuff with their children. Like just watch it with yourself.
Mhm.
Power, like I said, Power definitely is a show for the culture for sure.
Yeah.
Whether you hate it or love it, it's definitely a definitive moment for our culture. Power has been around for 10 years.
Yeah.
And which is crazy. I didn't realize that until they did the whole 10-year like they was doing like videos and stuff like that. I was like, dang, it has been 10 years. That's crazy that this show started in 2014. So time is definitely flew. It don't feel like it though, but yeah, it's been 10 years. Power definitely. I loved Power. In the beginning. I think the first 2 seasons, hands down, was the best.
It's easy to binge. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think because I watched it as the show was going, like I watched it each week. And this is before I discovered that you could watch it at midnight and people was spoiling it. So that's
yeah.
But like I said, I enjoyed watching it week to week. But I think for me, I think around about season 4. Was it season 4? It's either 3 or 4. It was kind of just like, all right, what we doing? Where we going?
Was it that the love story, like, because it's kind of the back and forth love between
Angela and Ghost?
I didn't really care about their relationship and the way they made it. It was just like, she's not a good person. So that's like at the end of the day, like she is in love with this. And I did enjoy Ghost as a character, but he definitely was not a good father. So he was, because I actually watched just a quick recap of Kanan and Tariq's relationship. Like I did like a little quick, and I was like, he actually was more of a mentor to Tariq than his own father. If you look, they had more scenes of him developing him, and it was not necessarily a good mentorship. Like it was like he was leading him to the path where he ends up in book 2. But like,
right.
It's really interesting that it's almost like Breaking Bad of Tariq. You kind of see his development over time in that with Kanan.
Yeah. I think I you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, Jason. I don't remember exactly what the breakdown of was for me when I was just like, what y'all doing? I don't really remember. I know that in the totality of it all, I know like I was always the oddball as far as like I know people love Tommy, and I'll always be like, great actor.
Yeah,
great actor.
Yeah.
But the character used to get on my nerves. Kanan used to get on my nerves too. And nothing against 50, but it was just the character Kanan. And honestly, to be honest with you, that's why I wasn't too excited about book 3, even though I like book 3 now. But I was like, because I wasn't like really, I didn't really care about the Kanan character. I was like, why are we following him?
Yeah.
Why are we getting a prequel of him when they first announced it? But now, like I said,
I couldn't
it's picking up. So I was like,
I
okay,
couldn't
cool.
get into that. So I started the first couple episodes and it just
A
I don't
book
know.
3.
Yeah, just I couldn't get
Okay,
into it.
okay.
So I only watched the parent series in book 2. I actually haven't seen Force
Ooh.
or Kanan his origin. So
I'm gonna tell you this, and I know we're jumping around, but I'm gonna tell you this, bro. There's a reason why Force is ending after season 3. Because Force just wasn't. It's just not. It's not
they forced
good.
it. They just
Yeah,
forced it.
they forced it. They forced it for sure. No, I think too. Also, and again, this is not me. This is again because I did mention, like I said, Tommy wasn't necessarily my favorite character, but I think because spinning him off into his own series, I don't think the storylines wasn't realistic for me with Forrest. Like you got this white guy going to Chicago, one of the most dangerous cities in our country, and you're going into Chicago and you're coming in like you about to be this big. You're gonna take over like this drug lord. Like you're not gonna like he doesn't have any issue. You know what I'm saying? Like he's coming in as if he's already on the top.
Yeah.
And because you're going against this black. You got the black group, the gang got them, and you're like infiltrating them like it's nothing just because you hung around Ghost and Kanan. You still white, dude. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, New York is not Chicago, so like
no,
you a different culture, different environment. You're not gonna be able to just adapt that quickly. It's a city, but it's a whole nother city.
Right.
East Coast, Midwest, they ain't the same.
Right. And then you have another group. Are they Greek? Are they Italian? I don't know, y'all. It's another group. You know, like another like gang group. They're white, obviously, and it's like he's he manipulated his way like to beat them and stuff like that, best them and stuff. Yeah. So I just feel like the realism of the situation, especially when it comes to the black gang, it is not there for me with Tommy. So it makes sense why they're ending it after whenever season 3 comes out, they're gonna end it after that. And also I have a question for you since you did watch the parent series. Because my homeboy Quad, he was on the pod and he made a prediction because he is dead set on the fact that James Ghost St. Patrick is not dead.
He gonna come back.
Who's he?
Ghost. This the 4th season. Every season was a New Year college. It takes 4 years to finish college. He's supposed to go through the college, and with the college, after 4 years, you know, it's when you graduate, and that's when you're supposed to get the money and stuff.
Right.
Inheritance.
Right.
He gonna come back like, nigga, yeah, I made you finish school.
Oh.
he is dead set on it. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on it? Because it's the whole thing. It's the whole thing that people think that Ghost is still alive. So is Ghost still alive to you?
You could make that argument, and I'm okay with the argument. And so, but I did think that before, like when it first ended, I was like, ain't no way in the world they just killed him like this and his own son. But seeing the development of Tariq from beginning of Power to the end of season 2, to the end of the last season of Ghost, it makes sense. Even if he didn't believe it or he believed it, it makes sense that he killed his father. Like this actually works with his story and his cold-bloodedness. So yeah, I think it would be like one of those soap opera, which this show has some of that, but it would be like a soap opera of like bringing him back, because you could always do that with anything, and it does fit his name, Ghost. Like in fact, he's like not really dead, So I think your argument, but I think for the show, it makes sense to keep him dead and like, see the development of Tariq. So
see that was my argument that I didn't want. Like I said, I watch. I'll say I watch soap operas, but only soap opera I was watching regularly was Young and the Restless. But I'm a soap opera head. But I feel like with Power, like, yeah, it's a street. I guess you could consider it a street soap, or street.
It's got the drama that you want
Yeah,
in a soap
yeah,
opera.
yeah. I agree.
But
I feel like the world of actually soap opera itself is a little bit more. You have to suspend your belief a little bit more. I think I consider
it's not grounded. Yeah,
right. With Power, it's a little bit more to me. I feel like it gives more of a realism that is there, and I feel like to me, making Ghost unalive, making him undead. I feel like that just takes away that episode when we saw that he got shot and died, and it takes away the whole last half of season 6. Like when they did that whole thing of each character had their own episode or whatever.
Right.
It takes away all of that.
That was some of. I mean, I know you said you stopped watching or you didn't like as much, but that honestly was some of the best TV, because you're like, who did it? And so like for me, I'm just like, because I didn't know. Like I was really on the edge of my seat, like who killed Ghost? And so like you kind of thought that each person everybody had their reason. And it's like you're following them and they all could have done, and that was like they all could have did it. Like it really made sense that any of those folks. And so I love those last episodes of Power.
I'm trying to think. How did I feel? I think I watched all 6 seasons of Power. I religiously watched it. I was
whether
definitely,
like it or not, you watched it.
I'm that type of TV watcher. Unless it's ridiculously, unless it gets to the point of ridiculousness where I just can't do it anymore. For the most part, I'm going to continue to watch it, even if I complain about it. But overall, I will say I enjoyed Power, the series. I did overall. I enjoyed it. Those last episodes, I think there were a couple of them. I felt like we could have done without, like Angela's sister. Yeah. Like, and I get it. I understand why she would want. I understand why she would be a person that, because of course she hated Jamie. Yeah. But I think like some of those episodes, I feel like we didn't need to see it. The whole episode didn't need to be about that person.
Yeah, I get it.
So, but overall, man, like I said, Power is definitely a cultural classic. It's going to be cemented in time. Did you think? Because when I was doing the podcast with my homeboy Maine, because they had predicted, not predicted, they had said there were some spinoffs coming. Right, we didn't know exactly who was getting spinoffs, and we was trying to predict on our former podcast, Fire and Ice. We was predicting who was going to get the spinoff. Did you think it was going to be Tariq that was going to get the spinoff?
I didn't. I honestly thought, like when I first heard about a spinoff, I did think that they might have brought Ghost back alive. And I was like, oh, that's what they're going to do. Because I wanted to see more of him, even though he died. And I was like, man. But I didn't expect Tariq to have his own show. But I was like, how are they going to make this work? And I'm like, I can see how, and I'm glad they did. Because it was my favorite of the spinoffs. And and I'm like, do I like this better than Power? So regardless, I don't know, but I mean, I didn't anticipate it, but I'm glad they did it, because it was the period of time, location, the setting, just like him in college, like it felt like more than a coming of age, like he's entering to a new season. And I'm like, I like where this is going, and I kind of like that type of following. And it's like he's coming from being the son of the person that was at the top and being mentored by this, crazy guy, killing the dude that, killed his sister. Like you see, like, he's got all this stuff, killing his own father. So now it's like, okay, how is he gonna be normal? But yeah, so
I definitely didn't think it was gonna be Tariq. I jokingly had said Lala's character. It was.
yeah,
I was just like Lala, but her character ended up getting killed. But
right.
I was sort of kind of being funny, but then I was sort of kind of being serious because it was like they really set it up because you didn't know who was going to get the spinoff.
Yeah.
You really had no idea. So we're about to get into book 2, guys. So we have book 2, Ghost, book 3, Raising Cain. Because they did literally after they power went off, they did this whole thing, all these books that was coming out. Yeah. It's a book 2, Ghost, book 3, Raising Canaan, book 4, Force, and then there was supposed to be a book 5 with Lorenz Tate's character.
Oh yeah.
But that didn't. They decided not to follow through with that, which actually disappointed me because, first of all, I think Rashad Tate is one of my favorite characters on Power.
He is a very interesting character.
Yes.
From the first introduction to him to the last time we see him in this season, it's like, man, like he's very interesting.
Yes, so. I love Rashad Tate. I love he's one of those people. He does the thing that we like to call he switch codes.
Oh yeah, like he knows how to speak in the right space.
Yes,
and he's straight from the hood, so it's like it's like he will he'll old dog Miss Society on you, he'll roll up on you on that. Code
switch. That's what I was like. That's a switch code. That don't sound right. Code switch. He code switches very well. I was just pointing that because I love Rashad Tate and I love Lorenz Tate as an actor. I was really wanting to see, and also I felt like it would have been interesting to see what that would have looked like in a political space.
Oh yeah, there's a lot you can say.
Yes. What would of politics? Yes, and especially I'm sure they wasn't looking that far into the future, but we're in an election year now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how that show could have mirrored what we're looking at now? You know what we're going through now. So
maybe that's why they squashed it.
Maybe.
Somebody was like, "Man, you need to write that." Nope, we can't publish that. That's too real. That stuff be happening.
So yeah, I was a little disappointed that they decided not to move forward with that. But we did get Tate. They ended up putting him on book 2, Ghost. So also too, they did a rollout. There was like when the original parent show ended, they did this rollout of who was going to be in book 2. They was like they got Tariq, Tasha. What was the lawyer that was always on their grill?
Oh yeah.
Sax. Mm-hmm. Sax. They announced Sax, and then they said also Method Man and Mary J. Blige. Because I just remember seeing the graphics. I was like, what is happening? Like they about to do this. They got Mary J. Blige and Method Man. Like this is book 2 is gonna be something serious.
Yeah,
for sure. So we get into book 2. Book 2 really starts because Tariq, so Ghost, basically leaves Tariq money, but the only condition is he has to go to school. He has to complete college. So this is what puts him into the college arena. And another side, what was the other caveat?
Well, I mean, he could. So it's just his trust fund. So I don't know if it's another thing, but it's like he basically, he didn't have any money, so he had to figure out how to
make money.
How to make money because his mom is on trial.
Right.
So like there's that. So there's like, okay, I can't make money on my own, or I can't use the money from my trust fund to pay for my mom's trial. So I have to figure out how to pay for that. So that was kind of the tension.
Because Method Man, he wants Method Man because Method Man is known to basically get criminals off,
Yeah,
and
he was
so
a defense attorney.
right, and so basically his character, Method Man's character, was like, "You got to pay me such and such amount," and Tariq got to figure it out. We
Mm-hmm.
also meet the Tejadas
Mm-hmm.
because Tariq is the tutor
That's the
of
other caveat. So he
yeah
has to actually tutor one of
Zeke.
the top, yeah, Zeke, because he's like
Yeah,
playing basketball on ready to go pro.
right. So he has to tutor Zeke, and Zeke is right now Zeke is the cousin of the Tejada siblings. You got Kane, Drew, and Diana, and then Monet, who's played by Mary J. Blige. She is basically the queen pin of this whole operation. So basically, of course, this is Power. It's about drugs, so they sell drugs. And
Mhm.
just in case people didn't know.
Just in case you didn't know, it's all about drugs.
What were your and this is a lot really. I mean, we're not going to spend the whole time like really going through it scene by scene, episode by
Yeah,
episode, but what were your thoughts? Because this is another big thing with Ghost, the series Ghost. What were your thoughts on Mary J. Blige playing Monet?
honestly, um, I didn't, uh, I didn't like her acting at first. I was just like, I like you as a rapper. so so it was like, I don't really know if I like your acting. I feel like she was trying too hard. But I loved her. I love the character, and I just love the way she brought her presence to the character. So like, her style, like the character design, the style, the the literal power of her character, I thought was good. She grew on me over time. So I mean, I think originally I was just like, really, I don't know if I'm believing them. I felt believe it too much, and then over time, I got used to it. So that's, I don't know what you think.
So I will say, I love Mary. I love Mary J. Blige. I think Mary J. Blige is a phenomenal singer. She's definitely again an icon. Um, Actress. Uh, I just I felt like I needed somebody. Monet is a powerful force,
Hmm.
right? I needed somebody who could really exemplify that.
Yeah,
Um, I know the first season, Mary. I'm not gonna lie, Mary J. Blige, her acting. I know people probably won't come for me. I'm sorry, but I just felt like the first season her acting was real rough, like
yeah.
super rough. But I felt like she tried her best to get better over time.
Maybe that's why she grew on me, because maybe it just improved. But I'm
Yeah,
like, I felt like I just got used to her versus I don't know how much more improvement.
right, right. I think that's what it is. I think you just got used to, okay. Well, Mary's playing Monet. There's nothing we're gonna
And
do about it.
that's
It's
just how
just
she sounds. That's just how
right,
she is.
right.
So, because
Um,
she go like her acting is like, it's like it emphasizes, she uses her voice to project a lot, which in on the screen is not as much necessary. And so
mhm.
like, you know, her body and her face expressions and her, body language is not as, she doesn't know how to use that in comparison to, because like when you think about powerful people, like, even thinking about honestly Tariq, the way that he was able to, as an actor, he was able to have a calm demeanor and like cutthroat at the same time, which is really interesting. I'm thinking like when someone's at the top, they can do that in a way that is blends well. And so I feel
Mm.
like that type of character, um, Monet as a character being the queen pin, like she wouldn't, like, yeah, she would probably get upset, angry, and everything, but like even in those moments, she has that cunning, like that character would be more cunning, more um, you know, collected. And so I think that with her acting, it just didn't come off like that. But like I said, got used to it. and I didn't mind her by the 4th season.
Yeah. I think for me it was by season 3. I was just like, okay, this is what it is. It is what it is, and we're just gonna keep it pushing. But overall, I think the Monet character was a great character.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
just think some of the delivery
That's the word.
could have been better. You know.
And you're a director, so you kind of see that too. Like, makes sense.
So basically, like I said, the whole goal right now with the Tejadas, there, and also let's keep in mind that the husband, the father,
Man, so.
he's in prison.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole Monet's whole objective is Zeke needs to be separate from whatever the Tejada, the drugs. So she don't want him to have nothing to do with it. Also, we gotta keep in mind so also in the series, of course, it's college, so they have to go to class.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this class that they go to, which I would have dropped the first day because no, I don't do too well with the whole debate and give your opinion, give your opinion and just teach me what I need to know. I'm gonna take my notes and then I'm gonna write my paper and or take my quiz, whatever I need to do. Because I'll drop that class, bro. I'm not taking this, bro. I'm not doing this.
I don't know if I've had a class like that in college, but yeah, I thought that was an interesting way of showing some of the like direction of the show and like challenging some of the, it was a level of meta of like, this is what we're talking about, this philosophical topic in the show. Like, you're going to see some of the things that we're talking about in this class in the show. So the writer is doing that. And so using the dialogue and the conversation to show the tension, to show, and I mean, honestly, I think it really did show Tariq's, the way that his mind processed information and thought through strategy. And so like that's something that, as you look back at the way that he navigated, and there's another way, like he knew how to code switch public, went to the private schools, lived in these, so he knows that language. And so seeing how he is in the Ivy League and how he communicates and excels, you're like, okay, why would he want to, go into the drug business? Because is that something he needs to do? Like, he just go to college, get his trust fund, and he'd be good to go. Like, what does he need? But it's something about even that philosophical debate and the dialogue, I think, helped us see a picture of his mind and what he was thinking. Of course, the other classmates and things like that was processing and, brain, and they would always challenge, like, why would somebody do that? And he would be a challenging thought. It's like, well, this is not how things really are, and it was interesting. So I thought it was interesting. I probably would have been intrigued in the class. I wouldn't have seen the purpose of the debate if it wasn't on the test. But I would have enjoyed it.
I just think that it's one of those. I just think it's one of those classes. You know how the people like classes like you got to have participation points.
Yeah, and it's like that's probably what it was.
And I just don't like being forced to talk. I feel like if I want to talk and give my opinion, I will, but I don't want to be forced to like, oh, let me see what I'm going to say today, so I can make sure I get my participation points. And I feel like that's what that class. I feel like that's what that class was. What else I was about to say? That's a good question you posed, though. I don't know if you meant to post it or not, but
okay.
Why are you selling drugs?
Yeah.
Like, why? Why? And I think honestly, but you know what's funny, Jason? I don't know if I didn't see the video, but I know people was talking about it. T.I. and Lil Boosie was talking to their sons about why they was waving guns in the music video or something like that. And they was basically telling them like, you never lived this life, or basically why are you promoting this? Because this is not the life you lived. You're basically, and that's true. Like these children of these rappers, because these rappers, they actually were in the streets. They were actually doing stuff of the streets, and now they're not. But these kids are born of these rappers, and they're literally living in the fruits of these rappers' labor. You know what I'm saying? So they don't know it. which is wealth, and then they don't know anything
Private
about the
school.
streets. Right, private school, all that stuff. So it goes back to with power with Tariq. It's the same thing. It's like you don't have to do what your dad and Tommy and Tasha were doing. Like you literally can just go to school, get your money, and be straight.
And that's what Tasha wanted him to do too. She was just like, "Don't worry about me. I'll take the rap. I'll deal with what I got to deal with. You go to school." That was pretty much what first season was about. Like leave, like let me do this, and and it's like, don't worry about it. I got this. You need to
Right.
be in school, and that's what his dad wanted too. That's why he was like, "Hey, this is the caveat. I need you to go to school." But I do think that the trauma of seeing his twin sister get murdered,
Mm.
that was, and the absentee father, even though his father was there, his father was not connected to him.
Right.
They had an estranged relationship, and so but he saw the way that his father was pretty selfish and manipulative, and trying to gain more and more. But that's also in his blood, so it's kind of like he got that same drive that his father had. And then I think that it just was a Breaking Bad process. So by the time he got to college, and it's like, look, I learned some things, because he learned from Kanan. Like he learned how to sell. He was doing stuff at his little private school, making some money, And so I think that so he had some habits that he developed. It was like, hey, I can make some extra money to do this thing because I know I understand. And I think that his intellect was part of his his chess move of like, hey, I can have this. It's kind of like a Batman, Bruce Wayne, kind of two people where he can be, this, educated kid, and people could look at him as, this Ivy League school kid, but then he can have this alter ego, which I think is kind of what Ghost was trying to do with this, nightclub owner type thing, and then drug dealer at night. And so I think there's that secret identity
duality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it was all about him wanting to have more power. That's the whole point of the series. And like what you said before, I think it was him becoming his own person. And that's a weird dynamic. Why would you do the same thing your father did if you want to become your own person? But it's like, I don't want to do what my father told me to do. He told me to go to school and not do drugs and deal drugs. I'm gonna deal drugs. So
yeah,
it's kind of like the rebelliousness.
And also, too, people always say he'll either call him Lil Ghost or you just like your father. He's like, no, I'm better than my father. I'm better. So basically, it's like he was trying to prove to himself and prove to his dead father that no, I'm going to be better than you and be smarter and do what you did, but do it better and smarter. So I feel like that was that whole thing too. Back to the class though, because this is like it was like a B or C storyline. You had these two professors, you had Jabari and Carrie. They used to be lovers apparently. Jabari was sleeping with the female students. Carrie, not students. I guess the student assistants. I guess the
teachers' aides.
Teacher aides. There you go. There you go. And then Carrie was sleeping with Zeke.
She had a whole affair.
Right.
They were in a committed affair relationship.
Right. So just keep that also in mind too. So this college thing's happening too, and of course we have Tariq's his class or his peers. Braden, who went to choke with him.
Right.
If I'm not right, and then he meets Lauren.
In class.
I already said Diana, so that's the Tejada. I already said her. So that's it for right now for season 1. As far as the main, because Effie is on season 1 too. She was a recurring character. So Effie was there too. Effie also with the show. Effie also, if you don't remember, Effie, like Jason mentioned that they was doing the whole drug thing back when he was at Choke. Effie was the one that snitched on him, and got Tariq expelled.
Yeah.
So there's that. Um. So basically, it's the storyline is for season 1 is pretty much Tariq trying to get money to help his mom, and then the Tejadas, because Tariq is working with the Tejadas as well. So we basically just have those dualities of the storyline. Then you
Yeah.
have some C and D plots going on here and there. We basically end season 1 with Jabari finding out that like he put it together that Tariq killed Ghost,
Ghost.
and
Yeah,
so
did he find out he's a drug dealer? Because I think they were doing the course correct.
yes.
Drug thing, and it was like selling drugs in class, like a tutor package online
Right.
and stuff like that.
And so then Tariq ends up killing Jabari, the professor.
He does.
And so then this whole thing. We go into season 2. This whole thing they trying to who killed Jabari, all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Tariq trying to cover it up. And then I think Tariq went to trial for it, right?
He went to trial. What did he go to trial for? Was it because of the murder? Because that's a good.
I just know he went to trial. And then they lost. The people that was going against him lost, and Tariq was walking out like he was the man. So
yeah, because basically, and it might have been drug related because I think course correct because Jabari published or was working on a book that described Tariq's basically what was happening because he was like he found out all the things, and so I think that's where I feel like Lauren did some kind of she was a mole at some point because they had a couple cases on there, but eventually Braden basically said it was all his idea, and they and because of white privilege, he didn't have any problems.
and there it is. Another
he's wealthy though. Like that's the thing. Like he's got like a huge.
The Westons are a wealthy family.
Powerful.
Braden could have said he killed somebody, which he, by the way, did later on. But Braden said he could have killed somebody and he would have still got off because, again, like you said, the white privilege of it all. So, the other, yeah, I'm about to say the other storyline too, because this is also consistent in power. You have this task force that's always trying to take down the St. Patrick. So this task force, these police and these attorneys and stuff, they're trying to take down Tariq St. Patrick. Now they really was like gung ho, like we gotta get Tariq St. Patrick, and it was like the same way they was trying to get Ghost, and they just weren't smart. They just weren't
smart. They were, and I think that's where like with Sax as a character, he was so adamant in Power original about taking down Ghost and and Tasha and everything. Like I think that he had so much, but he would manipulate the situation so much because he was just he just had so passionate about making sure it happened that it didn't matter, and so that right there messed him up. And so I think that's where you see that kind of continuing in on this, where he wasn't able to think well and logically as a good detective. He was leading in with his emotions too much, and that's the contrast we see with Tariq. Like Tariq was able to not lead in with his emotions. Like there's a couple of times where we see that, but I think that what made him successful in the first couple of seasons was that he was able to create a dichotomy, because he really did, like, his only thing that he actually did care about was his mom and his sister. Like, as long as they were safe, he was okay. Like he could do whatever. And I think he felt invincible. And I think that's where it's like, it didn't matter what else happened to him as long as his mama and his little sister was safe.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah. That was his motivation for everything that he was doing. It was like, I want to make sure that my mom and my baby sister is taken care of. So we're in season 2. One of the major things that happened in season 2 was, remember when I said that Zeke was the cousin of
Oh
the
yeah.
Tejadas. So the big thing that came out was that Zeke is not the cousin of the Tejadas. Zeke is actually the older brother of the Tejadas.
Mhm.
Monet was with Mecca,
Mhm.
you know, before Lorenzo, and so Mecca and Monet had a child, which was Zeke.
They were like
Apparently,
high school sweethearts or something like that. They were like together for a while.
right. And so basically, Zeke, you know how some black families do when they have the baby, then they give the baby away to a family member, and the family member has to pretend that the child is theirs and all that good stuff. So
That's
basically,
what happened.
yeah. So basically, Zeke thought that Monet was his aunt, but come to figure out that that was his mama, and Diana actually was the one who blew it up at the dinner table.
How she find out? I forgot. Do you remember how she found out?
I forgot
But
too.
she
I just
did blow it up. She was like, and that's my like whatever she said, and I'm like, what?
She's like, Zeke, that's not your mom. He was like, what's going on, auntie? That's not your. He said something about that's not your auntie.
Mom,
That's your
yeah.
mom. And so, because basically Zeke thought he was born at a. Basically, they told Zeke he was born on a date, and it
Yeah,
wasn't
it
the
was like
it was
he
it,
was older than he really was, and he
right,
thought he was, which is
right,
like, wow.
right.
Which I think was that part of the eligibility and a bunch of other stuff that was coming up with him.
Yes,
So that was a big thing. And so
yes,
he he was so in love with the teacher, that was his only space to vent. So he felt like, oh, like I don't even know these people. So he's just trying to like pour his heart out to Carrie and just and disconnect. And so Monet definitely did not like that. So
nope.
she murdered Carrie and made it look like a suicide.
Yep, yep. Also,
how did Zeke respond to that? Go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm
Finish.
just saying, like, he did not like that. So yeah, it was,
But I was going to say too. Also, the what the Tejada children were doing was impacting Zeke too, because Zeke got injured. They beat Zeke up, or they beat his they hit his leg or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was part of because he didn't even realize like how much they were into like the bit. Like he wasn't even aware of all the stuff they were doing.
Right.
And so, because I think that was a point where Drew was dating one of his
basketball his teammates.
Team players, and got him in the mess, and that was a whole drama with that. So a couple of side plot there, but
yeah, So we didn't really talk about the Tejada children, but the reason I want to bring them up because again, honestly, to me, Jason, the Tejadas to me were my favorite part of book 2.
Oh yeah,
I love the Tejadas. I love the Tejada family.
I agree.
Yeah. So again, we talked about Monet, Kane. Shout out to Woody, man. Woody McClain is he's doing his thing by far, and the way he's portrayed Kane, you can see because he's basically the muscle of the children. He's the muscle of the family. But he has this tough exterior, but the way Woody portrays him, you can see that he has this vulnerability.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. He's definitely a great actor. Like,
yeah,
he is hands down a great actor. From Bobby Brown to it's like he's a good actor. So,
sidebar: did you know that people had a problem with Yolanda Adams putting him in the music video?
What was the problem?
Because people can't separate character from real life.
Oh, okay.
People were like, "Why is Kane from Power in this gospel music video?"
Oh my goodness!
And I was like, first of all, Woody is a dancer. He was there. He's danced with Chris Brown for years. That's how he got started in the industry. He was a dancer. Second of all, again, he's playing a character in a fictional series. So that's not Kane dancing in a gospel music video. That is Woody dancing and praising the Lord as he should. The Bible says that every breath, that everything that has breath,
All right.
praise the Lord. So therefore, if he wants to pray, he has breath in his body. If he wants to praise the Lord, then he can do that. Don't play with me. Don't get me started on here.
Okay.
But no, seriously, that people people don't know how to distinguish, and even in the indie world, but in definitely mainstream, people don't know how to distinguish character from reality, and it's like people definitely was giving. Yolanda was on the Breakfast Club. Yolanda Adams was on the Breakfast Club. She was talking about it. So,
okay,
but yeah. It's a nice song. It's a great song. It's a tight video too. But anyway, but yeah. So shout out to Woody, McClain.
Yes.
And then we have
Kane as a character.
Kane.
Was great.
Yes,
Yeah,
Kane. I love Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then we have Drew, who's the middle brother, the middle sibling. And was he out? Was he out or was
no? That was
he
part
wasn't
of
okay.
The show.
Yeah,
it developed that, so it's kind of
okay.
like because he was definitely the middle child, the younger brother, but also the family is in the business, so like everybody is pretty much a part of it except for Zeke, but he's not. Drew isn't the one in the top, and so Kane is more aggressive. He's more outspoken. He's more that's what we see, but there's like this battle for the top type thing where it's like Drew has this, I gotta be better because I am the better brother and I'm more wise, I can think more strategically, and I'm not a hothead, because Kane is a hothead. Kane will kill you in a second.
Right,
without thinking about it. And Drew has a little bit more, he's way more calm in comparison to Kane. But we see that evolution over time. And
we
so
do.
Drew's development, honestly, is probably the most interesting development. Because he goes from the little brother that's trying to be on top to a different type of person by season 4. I mean, he's gullet. Like he's a murderer. He absolutely is. Like he's a stone cold-blooded killer. Like I feel like I'm more scared of Drew than Kane, because Kane is kind of predictable. Like what he's gonna do, but Drew is like, I don't know, man. So because he like season 4,
yeah. I think the turning point for Drew was when, first of all, when Monet basically manipulated him to kill his lover, because he thought that his lover killed Poppy, the father.
Yeah.
We didn't say anything. I'm sorry. So basically, y'all, the daddy ended up getting killed.
And Monet. So a couple things.
Yeah.
The daddy, Lorenzo, ended up. This is why it's a soap opera. Lorenzo ended up killing Zeke because he thought it was Mecca.
Yes,
he was on Mecca's plane because he was jealous of Mecca, and Mecca and like, hey, this family's leaving me with Mecca. Mecca came back in town. Mecca's the relationship. Mecca's Zeke's dad, but he ends up killing Zeke from a distance. They found out it was Zeke. He kept that to himself. When Monet found out that Lorenzo killed Zeke, she's like, so she got him killed. And so
by Drew's lover,
right? So there, and then that goes around, and now Drew has to kill this dude that killed his own dad, which actually Monet manipulated all that situation.
Yes.
So when they find out, and that was probably in about season 3, by the time they find out that Monet was behind all of that, they were like, okay, she got to go. So.
Yes, it's a lot, y'all.
It's a soap opera.
Y'all gotta watch. You just pretty much gotta watch.
Definitely, I loved it. it. The drama, I was here for it.
and then Diana, she pretty much like, she really just wanted to go to school. She wanted a different life,
right?
But she just kept getting pulled into it. She was like, she kept having to do stuff for the family. It's the big thing was family first.
It's the family, yeah.
Family first. That was the big thing.
And she was a daddy's girl, and she that was one of those things she cared, and so that was definitely a lot. Kane's a mama's boy, even though there was some tension. He still loved his mama Nas like all day,
and that was evident in this last season. These last 2 episodes of the season.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. But yeah. So and then Diana, she, and we're gonna bring it back around to Tariq, obviously. But what I do want to say, I feel like towards the later episodes, like the latter season, when there's only 4, so like season 3, season 4. In some episodes, I feel like Tariq became the B character, like he became the side character in his own spinoff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the show began to start revolving more around the Tejadas, which was actually fine for me because I found the Tejadas very compelling, and I'm going to get into my theory that I thought was going to happen, but that didn't happen when we get there. But yeah, I just feel like Tariq became sort of a B character in some of the episodes later on. But Diana and of course Tariq definitely had a rotation going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we mentioned with the women. So, yeah. He had his own rotation. So we had Lauren.
Yep.
And then Effie and Diana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was his main.
That's his main rotation. That's his main women. And then of course when we get to season 4, we gotta add Noma's daughter.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because she became part of rotation too at the Tariq had a little roster.
And I feel like he didn't really it really seemed like, honestly, and I said this earlier, but he didn't seem like he actually cared about any of these girls for real. Like there was a little not for the there was something that I think he liked about Lauren that almost like this is going to help him stay grounded without having to be like, maybe I don't have to be in the drug world. Like Lauren was like the good side of what he could be. She wants to be in school. She's doing this stuff. And so there was that tension, but I don't think he really wanted, he wanted the power and control, but I don't think he really wanted a real relationship because he wasn't completely honest with her, Yeah. Effie, I felt like she was probably the best, even though she was her own thing. She was the best for him in a sense that he was honest with her. Effie she's an interesting character because she can be loyal, but she can also be very selfish at the same time, which is really interesting. So, but
elaborate on that.
So, I wouldn't say selfish as much as she's loyal to a point where if it ends up cringing on her, she can turn to protect herself, you know? And so I think that her loyalty doesn't end with her sacrificing herself. That's what I mean.
Gotcha.
So I think that she is loyal, but if you turn, she will protect herself. That's where it is. And so I think there's and so I think that her and Tariq pushed her out. She would have been a ride or die for Tariq if he wasn't selfish. You know what I mean? So but she murdered Lauren to protect Tariq, and so that was kind of his the idea is we gotta get rid of Lauren so that she won't mess up with Tariq's thing and all that stuff. So it wasn't even her own reason. It was like, hey, I'm protecting Tariq because she's a liability and he don't even realize it.
Yeah.
And so, but that's part of that dynamic of Effie. So
yeah. Speaking. So basically, we're getting into season 3. We thought Lauren was dead. She wasn't. She was actually in witness protection.
More soap opera stuff.
Yeah, she was in witness protection. She's gonna be a witness to basically bring down this whole thing, this whole drug organization. Once again, you got this task force who really they're animate. They're like, we're gonna bring these quote unquote criminals down. We're gonna bring them down. I'm saying quote unquote criminals. They are criminals, but still,
they're murderers.
But you know what? No, the thing about this show, you find yourself rooting for the murderers because these task force people be going so. They be going so hard, and it's be
Yeah.
like, what do you?
And they weren't good either.
They weren't
That's
good.
The
They
thing.
weren't
It wasn't
good.
like
They weren't
I don't
good.
think there was any. There was probably one like cop that I was like rooting for, and that was the Rashad Tate's brother.
Kamal.
Yeah, Kamal
Yeah.
Tate. That was probably the only one that I was rooting for in this series. It was like, he was probably the best cop on the show as a cop.
Yes.
And so, yeah, but everybody else
sucks. It sucks.
So
yes,
especially. So I mean, are we gonna go like where we at? Are we gonna go?
Okay, so let's hold on.
Are
we? Okay, did I hit everything on season 3? I'm trying to think about what was crazy. What was special about season 3? Noma came in on season 3.
Noma came in. That's Mecca's wife, which. Right?
Was a wife? I think it was a fiance. I thought they're engaged.
Well, she's so was Mecca the father of the
Anya?
Yeah, is that
no.
Oh, okay.
So Noma
missed that.
Yeah, Noma was with. So Noma killed her husband.
Okay, that's right.
So, but Anya doesn't know that. Anya thinks, I forgot how she thinks he died, but anyway, but Noma was engaged to Mecca
after she killed her own husband.
Right, because we met Noma because there was this couple. She had a ring on her finger,
and they
basically she sliced her hand off. So Noma just came in all ruthless, and I remember watching that. I was like, "Was that necessary?" No, I was just like, "What is going on?"
I wanted to show how ruthless she was, and they showed it multiple times in this show. Which
yes,
her ruthlessness broke by the last episode. Like she was not the same character that she was in season 3.
I agree.
Because what I wanted from Monet is what I saw in Noma as an actress. So she brought the queen pin, the ruthless, the manipulative world. Like she's like, I'm in control, I'm in power, and ain't nobody gonna phase me. I ain't got nothing. But she did have the one thing that she cared about was her daughter, and that was her level of vulnerability, which they made it so intense with her emotions that it just kind of like it needed to move the plot. So I get why they did it like that, but it didn't fit her character to me as someone that was like in control and in power. And so I don't know if there's a better way of doing that, but it just kind of like went from I'm in control to like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
By the end.
right.
So...
another major thing that happened in season 3, like you said, Brayden got kicked out of school, so he's gone. But they end up working at the Weston Holdings or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
So Brayden and Tariq are working there. So basically, they get in some kind of way. They end up using they implement the drugs. All the stuff going
downtown,
on,
business world,
right?
Coffees and putting drug in the bottom of the coffee cup,
right? So, because these rich people are going to buy drugs, so they was like, we're gonna do all this stuff. Basically, everything gets exposed. The Westons lose out on a lot of money. It's a lot of stuff happening in season 3.
Ponzi scheme,
right? Ponzi, all that stuff. And
Brayden kills his cousin or uncle. I think he kills his uncle, make it look like a suicide.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I thought he jumped. He didn't jump out the window?
He pushed him.
Oh,
Brayden pushed him down.
That's right.
And then he wrote a note and said, I killed myself because it was a crazy stuff going on. So he made it.
Yeah. At the end of season 3, and so now we're gonna finally get into season 4. At the end of season 3, basically, it's everybody versus Tariq and Brayden. That's basically how season 3 ends. It's like everybody
after him.
Yeah, the Tejada children. Oh, we gotta say this too. Sorry. Monet gets shot.
Yep.
Because it's actually Diana and Drew are actually plotting to kill Monet.
And they kill Lorenzo. It's like,
right, and they're enlisting Tariq's help to do that. However, Monet gets shot, but it wasn't by Tariq. It was by Tasha. Tasha. By the way, guys, Tasha's out of jail. We didn't really talk about that, but
that was season 1. She was witness protection. She was good to go. She was doing whatever. So.
Right. So she gets out, and then so she ends up shooting Monet. There's also this other thing too with Tommy. Tommy basically was gonna try to kill Tasha, but then they ended up having a kumbaya moment, and then that's the end of that.
Do they show that in Force too? Because I'm like, I don't know if there was like a connection between Force.
Nah, they didn't. We didn't see Tasha or Tariq in Force.
Okay.
So they just pretty much he popped up, and then that was that. I think if I can remember correctly, I think in season 2 of Force he did say he had to go off for a second. And
why did he want to kill her?
Because remember, Tasha said that Tommy was the one that killed. She blamed Tommy killing Ghost.
So that's why when she did that, it got her off in witness protection. They just looked at Tommy. Okay, it makes sense.
Yes, and then but Tommy's supposed to be dead in New York because his car got caught on fire, blew up or whatever. So yeah, that's that. Okay, so we're done with that. So yeah, so back to Ghost. The series Ghost. So it's basically everybody, the Tejada kids, Noma. It's open season for Tariq and Brayden. So basically, episode 1 of season 4. They're on the run. It opens up with that. So they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure out how to get some money, get out of Dodge. Also, we meet Angela's nephew, which is Paz's son. So he's
he don't last that long.
He does not. And Jason, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like that was a waste. I feel like that was a waste of time.
Yep, it was unnecessary. Like, why would you introduce this specific character that connects us to the original one and then just kill him off within the first couple episodes?
It didn't make any sense. I was like, why did y'all do that? That was a way.
He could have been a cop that we could have been rooting for. You know?
Yes.
And so, but he wasn't because he died and was murdered by Tariq.
I feel like, honestly, and I get it because Michael Ealy is a name. I get it, but I would have rather have seen Angela's nephew versus Tariq and them than Michael Ealy's character. To be honest,
I would have liked to see that character be the good thing that is the tension between Michael Ealy's character, because Michael Ealy was not a good character.
No,
he was a horrible person. I thought at first that he was going to be good, and then I was like, oh no, he is not good at all. And so yeah, but they didn't go there. They just killed him off in the first episode.
They did, and they made it seem like it was like Tariq was rescuing some. They made it seem like
it was clean. It was clean and quick.
Yeah.
They didn't even deal with it, and you never hear his name for the rest of the season. Like it's like
done.
It's like what? This dude murdered him on camera in the thing, and he was like.
They made it seem like it was a rob, like he was saving somebody, something like something. Yeah,
covered up quick. Which I want to mention. So we barely mentioned his character, but he is very pivotal in the whole series.
Go ahead. Oh yeah. Davis.
Harley mentioned him. But Davis McLean, is very pivotal in the whole series. He's on every episode, I think, and so he's and he's my favorite character, honestly. I don't know if
we are, which is like I said, in the scope of trying to talk everything in a timely manner. It's sad that I did not mention Davis McLean because, like I said, Davis McLean's actually my favorite character on the series as well. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed watching Method Man play this character. It really, actually saddened me how they didn't utilize him on season 4 as much as I would have liked them to.
Yeah. They could have done a lot more with him.
His character is definitely his character is like you said, he's pivotal in a lot of things and a lot of the moves that are being made.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, especially towards the latter episodes of season 4, I just felt like he was just there. Like it was just you know.
No, yeah, that makes sense. And I mean, he was his motivation. That's something that I was trying to figure out because he ends up, you see his loyalty lies with Tariq.
Yeah.
It's kind of like there's a development and growth over time, and I think that he sees, and it's because he's very Davis is very he uses people for his own gain. Like he is like that's his thing. Like he sees the big picture as a lawyer. He sees the end result, and he lines himself with what will get the best result for him at the end. And so I think that he sees that Tariq can be that for him, and that's probably why he's so loyal to him. Because I'm like, at the beginning, he's like, little kid, give me, I ain't gonna do this, take this case, until you give me some money. And he gets the money, and he's like, okay, and so he ends up being loyal to him. Like, it's like, that's like, after that, he could trust him. Like, and that's the thing. Like, he never turned on Tariq throughout the whole series. There was a couple points where you thought it might have happened, but he was like, that was the one person other than his mama that Tariq could trust. And even with Brayden, like, they were ride or die, but like, he still didn't all the way. I feel like he trusted Davis even more than Brayden.
I think also what the turning point for Davis was when his brother committed suicide, and Tariq was there with him and to witness that.
Yeah, and killed Sax. Yeah.
So I think honestly, Davis is like really looked at him like a brother. Like, that's my little brother. I'm gonna protect him, make sure that
makes sense.
That
I can see that.
Yeah, because in the ways that he couldn't protect his his blood brother, I think it was a transfer to Tariq.
I see that.
So very good. I'm glad you brought him up. Like I said, yeah, definitely. I love Method Man. I love the way he portrayed the character.
A great job.
Great job. 1000%.
Yeah.
I loved, despite how we feel about Barry's acting, I loved seeing Mary and Method in the same scenes, because it just takes you back to you. All I need to get by.
Yeah.
It takes you back. I just felt like hearing the song. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I mean, yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so we're on season 4. So basically, Noma ends up not putting the end to the. She's like, okay, no, you're not gonna kill Tariq anymore. I forgot what the reason was. I can't remember.
Well, there was definitely, like, they found a truce. Where he knew some things about her and her daughter, and it was just like, all right, we'll just kind of play it. We'll just keep things, as long as we don't kill each other. We'll be good.
And Noma says, you and Brady cannot sell drugs. Y'all think you cannot sell drugs anymore.
That's the truce.
That's the truce, or whatever. Then, but of course, Tariq's like, no, we're gonna still sell these drugs.
Yeah, because he wants to do it. Like, and that's the thing. Like, there was a point where he actually did not have to do it anymore.
Right.
His mama's off. Like, he's not paying for a lawyer. He's in school, but they have an episode where they just live life as normal college students. Because there was a point where they're like, let's be college students, and they did that, and he was just like, I don't like this.
Right.
Because they struggling and, trying to just regular college life, and because, I mean, it's just like, and he's like, man, because I don't think he had a car at the time. They driving an old beat up car he had. He's just like, I can't live like this. I need to be on top. And that was what changed.
And then we also forgot, we didn't mention, but I felt like this was pointless. 2-Bit makes appearances in and out. Yeah. And to your point with the car, like, because 2-Bit stole his car. And so he ends up getting his car back from 2-Bit. And then that's the last time we see 2-Bit.
Ever. Yeah. That was funny and unnecessary.
But I was like, yeah, why did y'all bring him into this series? It didn't make any sense. It's kind of pointless. So basically, they start doing these underground parties. And so they're basically doing the drugs that way through the underground parties. Braden, of course, starts feeling the lead singer in the group
and starts getting on
and
some of them.
start getting on the drugs. So Braden starts doing drugs. You know, you're not supposed to get high on your own supply, but of course,
And
Braden breaks the rules, and he does. So we kind of see Braden already was like, well, first of all, Braden really started getting into his killer side because he just started killing people, wanting to kill people.
Yeah.
But also too, you really saw how he wasn't really ready for this life. Like he just was making dumb decisions and not really making, and also too, he's also trying to prove to Tariq how useful he actually is, but in the way he was really getting in the way.
And he did. He got in the way, and he messed up some stuff multiple times. And
right.
So, like I said before, he was a ride or die, and so like he's willing to do what it takes to be, to be the brother, of Tariq. And I didn't mind their relationship. I thought that was a good, they had a brotherhood type thing, but he was trying to prove himself.
Right.
And I think that's where he wasn't confident within himself, which I think was a good approach. So like I know that was probably the intention, because you can kind of see his spiraling in this season of just like making some really foolish mistakes.
Very foolish mistakes. Oh gosh. And then another big plot point, Diana's pregnant. With Tariq's baby.
Yep.
And
they just did it one time. It was like that's all it take.
I'm about to say only take one time.
That's all it take. That's all it take.
And I mean, this character's not really important, really, but Tariq was like, how we know it ain't Salim's, because Salim is actually the person that Diana was with.
Yeah.
But of course,
him.
Yeah. Yeah. Salim dies.
Yeah.
Tariq ends him.
Tariq is a murderer, by the way. Like he really is.
How many bodies? And I'm not talking about sexual bodies. How many? He's
got more of those bodies than he got the other. Like he's got more dead bodies than he.
How many dead bodies did Tariq have? Because Tariq killed people in the original Power, and then it's like he killed people. He killed 2 people in original Power.
He killed his dad. He killed the dude that killed his sister.
Ray. Yeah.
And
then so now he got.
So like with Kanan though, because he didn't kill Kanan, but he was there and let it happen. Yeah.
Like
because he was like, so it was interesting. So he didn't kill him, but he kind of was behind it.
Right. Tariq got some bodies for sure.
He kind of set him up. He kind of set Kanan up.
Yes. Yeah.
So
and so okay, so we mentioned Michael Ealy's character. Michael Ealy basically is this cop. He has a dead wife. And basically Michael Ealy's like, I'm gonna get these people off the street, but I'm gonna also do street things. I'm gonna do bad things. And he gets money. And
he's a dirty cop.
He's a dirty cop, and
very selfish.
And he kills people. And Kamal, which is Rashad Tate's brother, we mentioned him. Kamal ends up joining,
which is actually Lorenz Tate's actual brother, which is really fun. I love that.
Yes, and sidebar, because I'm a Moesha fan. I love Moesha. It's one of my favorite sitcoms ever. Lamar Tate was on Moesha. He was Hakeem's best friend on season 6. So I have to throw that out there. But yeah, so Kamal is working with Michael Ealy, basically, and Kamal has no idea that this task force, these cops are dirty. He has no idea. He literally is coming in at pure heart, and he really wants to basically bring justice and stop the bad guys. But basically, Kamal, unfortunately, is too good, and Michael Ealy's too trusting. Tells Michael Ealy, his name is Carter. Detective Carter.
Detective Carter
Tells Detective Carter what he thinks, and he ends up getting killed, unfortunately, sadly.
by Detective Carter.
By Detective Carter.
Michael Ealy.
Yes.
So Michael Ealy, and I was talking to Josh about this. He always plays either the other guy or a villain. Like, he's never just a straight guy, you know? Like, he's always like the other guy or the villain. And I kind of like him as a villain. Like, I really do. I like him as a villain. And so I felt like this version of him was annoying, you know, and I feel like I didn't honestly know his motivation, even though they tried to show you with his his wife, but it's like we didn't really know her. And so they were trying to throw in that, like, it'd be different if it was someone that we knew from another place. They were like, oh, that's his wife.
Right,
like,
right.
Oh man, you know, that would have been an interesting way of like weaving in the story. But I feel like it was just like here's a whole character and here's his backstory all at once in this last season. And it's like, you know,
and right, like with you saying that, I didn't care.
That's the thing.
Right,
like, I didn't care. Like, they showed, like, they had a whole scene of him just talking to his wife and like processing. Like, this is not making. I have no emotional tie to this at all. I don't know who this lady is.
Right.
I don't care anything about their relationship. She was already dead by the time we did it. Apparently, she was, I think, killed by somebody in a thing. I don't know, but it's like, it doesn't, like, whatever. And so his motivation wasn't even about avenging. It didn't feel like it was about avenging his wife, but it kind of was. But he was just corrupt, and it was like, what was his motivation of being corrupt? Like, there wasn't enough of that for me to see how corrupt he was. Like, there was really like, okay, I don't get it. But, you know, it just, they had to, because there was really nothing else redeeming about him. He was evil. Like, it was like, there was nothing that made you want to root for him at all.
Right.
Like, he didn't have a pet or nothing. Like, it was just like evil. It's like evil. Like, oh my goodness. Maybe it was just because Michael Ealy and his green eyes or something like that. Like, root for him. No, like, evil. That's it. So
do you watch Reasonable Doubt?
Yeah, I've seen the first season of that.
Okay.
When he was I didn't finish. I'm in the middle of the second season, so I haven't finished it.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's not in season 2, obviously, but
right, he's in season. And he's a bad guy there.
He's definitely,
but his motivation in Reasonable Doubt made more sense, you know, because he was trying, and I do feel like Jax was using him and she manipulated him for her own gain because she wanted, you know, and she was stringing him along, and he was trying to figure out his emotional tie, and that ended up where he just broke. She should have just left him alone.
I'm gonna bring you back. We gotta do it when season 2, when we both finish season 2 of Reasonable Doubt, then we'll talk about that. Cause
all right, that's cool.
I want to talk about that too.
All right, that's great, because we're not going to talk about it on my podcast because Josh and Marcus don't watch it. So,
basically, so Carter wants to bring down Tariq because, of course, and again, this is why I felt like Angela's nephew was. If we weren't going to really do anything with that, they could have just left it where it was. Because basically, he's like, I promise. She tells Paz, that's her name, Paz.
That's
the mom.
His mom.
Angela,
Angela's sister.
Angela's sister. He tells Angela's sister, "I'm going to make sure that whoever did this pays for it." And basically, he's because she has a
right. That's the only connection.
Right. That's it. And we don't see Paz again at all. After
Never again. And it's like that is not Detective Carter's motivation. Like,
right.
He says that. But that's the only time, like, it didn't even, they could have left that whole part out.
I agree. I 1000% agree. Another thing that happens in this season, this final season. Also, I want to say this. We have to say this. So they made the announcement that season 4 was going to be the last season after they filmed everything. So they made the announcement that this last season, season 4, this is going to be it. So I can tell going into this that
trying to wrap it up.
they were trying to they were trying to wrap it up, but I feel like, well, I don't know. I'm not on set. I'm not there. I'm not a writer or on the show. But um, I'm not sure if they knew. Sometimes people know before the announcement comes out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they knew beforehand while they were filming. Okay, this is gonna be our final season, or if they filmed everything and then it was like, okay, then the announcement came, this is gonna be our last season.
Yeah.
Because I can tell they were trying to wrap a lot of things up, especially in the latter half of this last season.
I like the way. I mean, they gave us 4 episodes or 5.
It was 5. It was 5 each on each. 5 on the first half and then 5 on the second half.
So by the second half of episodes, it definitely felt like they were like trying to wrap it up.
It was going real fast. It was fast. It was like a lot. It was a lot of rapid fire information.
By the third, or like it was like 2 more episodes, I was like, how are they gonna,
right?
I was like, how are they going to conclude this whole series in 2 more episodes?
And that's what makes me think that I feel like they shot everything first, and then they found out afterwards like this is gonna be it. And then they possibly had to like call the Tariq actor and say, "Hey man, we got to shoot something real quick so that way we can
the last line of the
wrap this all up, so it'll make sense."
No, that explains it, and I think like the way that ended, the way the series ended, could have, and you can share your negative thoughts. I know you mentioned, but like it was definitely. I do feel like what you're saying. They wrapped up so quickly that it could have been just the end of a season, and then because there's so much other things that they could do. Because if I don't know, like you have thoughts, but like I do think that if it was about him going through college, it would have been interesting to see him finish college.
Come on, Jason. Come on. Come on.
Like there's some kind of, because even his motivation is like, okay, well now he's done, he gets trust fund, but that actually makes him he could go even beyond what he has been doing. Now he has his degree to continue to be this man on top, which you can figure out.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. That's the reason why I want to break down this entire series, because that was the whole point of how this series started. He went to college to get the access to his money because he couldn't get the money until he finished college and graduated. So that was the whole point. And and to your point, I think it would have been great to actually see him finish college. Not necessarily, he could still do the drug thing if he want to do that, but of course he's going to. That's what he's
gonna do. That's the point. I mean, I don't think he would have changed his mind.
Right. But I think it would have been good to actually see the end result of what the beginning of the series was. I thought it would have been good.
If you have 4 seasons, you can have you can have each season be a year of his, college career.
Right.
And so, it would have made sense to have the 4th season end with him finishing, and then, but they didn't do that.
What was I about to say? So we're about to wrap this up with season 4, ending the season 4 up. Basically, Noma. Oh, that's what we got to mention this too, because Kane basically is like, I'm not working with you no more. Now I'm working with Noma. He want to be every child basically wants to be their own independent person.
Yeah, that's kind of what what it's all about.
Yeah. So Drew's like, I'm gonna work with Davis.
With Carter.
I meant work with Carter. Kane was like, I'm gonna be with Noma. Diana was like, I'm gonna be pregnant and I'm gonna do this thing. Right. I'm gonna be pregnant with Tariq's baby. We're gonna have a St. Patrick Tejada baby. But that does not happen because again, we got Carter and these crooked cops. And when I tell you,
that was horrible.
That was horrible. When I tell you, Felicia became my least favorite character.
That scene
in that moment,
was unnecessary.
Of this whole entire Power
series,
franchise.
the whole franchise.
The whole Power franchise. She's my least. You know, guys.
That makes sense.
Jason and them like to do this thing where they talk about their favorite characters and least favorite characters on their podcast. I'm gonna say it. Felicia, the cop, is my least favorite character of the entire Power franchise.
Entire Power franchise. I do not disagree with you on that, and it's all because of what she did.
Yes,
she murdered. Well, a couple things she did. She, first of all, for some strange reason, Carter was like, "Go kill old dude."
Right.
You know, for whatever reason. I'm like, okay, I don't even know why they want to do that, but okay, they got to kill him. So instead of her doing it, she says to Diana, "You kill him," which is like, why you want her to kill him? I don't understand. But she's like, "You got to do it." So Diana was like, I don't know if I can do it. She could if she needed to, but she was just like, "I'm pregnant. Tariq, I need your help. Take care of this." All right, I got you. So who we murdering today? Because he's a murderer. All you gotta do is tell us who. And so he goes up, he kills him. And so, the crooked cop lady, she's like, "Wait a minute." Like, she sees the video and she's like, "Wait a minute, that's not Diana killing, that's Tariq killing him. Oh my goodness, I'm angry." So she goes, finds Diana, and beats the living snot, literally beats the baby dead.
Yes.
In her.
Yes.
And
that pissed me off so bad. That's all.
Like, okay, I'm sorry I killed your baby. And that was like the one saving grace for Diana. She was just like trying to figure out herself. She, processing. She was accepting the fact. They were actually trying to find a, cordial relationship with Tariq. Like, it was actually working in a way of like building up, and then like boom. And that was the breaking point for Diana. Like, she's like, okay, you mentioned earlier she was trying to go to school and do everything. After that, she like, I'm ready to kill.
And that's and at that moment, that's when things took a turn.
That's when things took a turn. Absolutely. She murdered, she killed, she went to her house. So Diana went to old girl detective's house and killed her with a frying pan. Just smashed the face in. Boom, like the shield off of the evil Captain America. Like, boom, and and so that happened.
So with that, I forgot to mention too that Diana and them, they was trying to, Diana and them, Monet and them was basically trying to steal drugs and all this other stuff.
Oh yeah, that's another.
And so that's when Carter. I had to mention that because Carter caught them and was like, "Now y'all gonna work for me." So that's how all of this ties in together. And that's why Felicia. That's why Felicia was telling Diana, "You gotta go kill old buddy." Right. So that's all that ties in. Right. So then Carter comes in because Tariq is there, Monet is there, Diana's there,
and Drew I understand Drew's motivation. It actually worked, but Drew was working with Carter.
Yeah.
I did like his growth in this season because he was in jail for whatever reason, end up murdering somebody in jail, figure out a way to, do all that stuff. He was like, and it wasn't like, he was just like, I'm trying to be on top. I'm trying to I ain't got time to be associated with anybody else. And so he's working with Carter so he can do what he can do.
Right. Carter, the reason why Drew was in jail because Carter needed somebody killed in jail. So they was like, we're going to arrest. Put him in there. So they put Drew in there to basically do what he needed to do to kill old buddy in prison. And so like you said, Drew was trying to basically be his own man, do his thing, climb the ranks and all this other stuff. And so he's working with Carter. Right. So we got all that, blah, 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 blah. Noma is trying to get her citizenship. She's trying to buy this she's trying to buy property, do all this other stuff, business stuff. Basically a way to clean her money. That's basically what she's trying to do. But how she needs to become a citizen. Kane is like, let's also mention that Noma is sleeping with Kane and Davis. But Noma is like, Kane proposes that how about we get married and that way you can become a citizen and do what you need to do. And that's important to say because that is actually the last 2 episodes of.
Yep, it's the wedding.
It's the wedding of the last episodes of Power Ghost. So we end up on the penultimate episode. It is Kane and Noma's wedding. Also they basically Monet and Tariq work together. They're trying to take out Carter and Noma. They're trying to kill both of them. But then Noma and Carter wise up and they're like, you know what? They're trying to take us out. We need to come together.
Enemy is my friend.
Right. So they come together to basically get rid of them. And so everybody's in on this plan as far as like Tariq and Monique's plan, except Kane. They did not tell Kane the plan, which I think was a big mistake. They should have told him what was up, so that way everybody could be on the same page and make sure everything happened like it needed to happen and be cohesive.
Do you think if they told Kane, he would have been okay with it?
I think if they would have explained it, I think yes, because the way he was doing this whole monologue about how he loved his mama, holds him down before she got killed. I think Kane would have. Now, if you would have asked me that and Kane did not give that monologue, then the answer would be no. But I feel like because he gave this whole speech about how I'm never gonna turn on my mama. I'm never gonna.
Which I mean, we saw that throughout like he is a ride or die for his mama. Like when he found out that Drew and Diana had tried to have her killed, he was like,
I'm gonna kill him.
Take them out.
Yeah,
like it's like I'm gonna take them out. You can't kill my mama. I'm gonna kill you.
I really thought Kane was gonna kill Drew. That episode when he was like, it was going back and forth. I was like, oh, Drew about to die.
Yeah. Yep. But I do think that if they told him, they would have had to make it a way where he would have believed it and been in on it. Cause it's like, I think he does. You saw that he was actually, I think that he really was in love with Effie. Like, I really feel like he actually had true feelings for Effie.
I agree.
And so he did see Noma as a means to power. And so he's like, I'm going to use this. But he also was attracted to her, So he's like, hey, like, this is, she's kind of like she's the queen and I want to be connected. So I think there was that, there were some feelings there. And so he had to manipulate the situation to make sure he was connected to her. So I don't think at the end of the day, he didn't want to be with her. So like they could have made it where, hey, like we gonna take her out because she trying to kill your mama. She literally tried to kill her. So like we gonna take her out. So we're gonna use the wedding as a way to do it. And so I think that he would have been in on it if they did it like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but if it was Tariq's idea, no, he was not gonna be with it. Because
that's a good point.
There was never a moment
he hates Tariq.
He liked Tariq. Like he doesn't like he deals with Tariq, but he hates him.
Yeah.
So, and that never changed
because he doesn't like the way that basically Monet welcomed him into the family.
It was so quick too. It didn't make sense. That first season, I was like, "Why are you trusting Tariq so quick?" I was with Kane, like, "Why are you trusting him so quick?" Just because of St. Patrick name, like whatever. Anyway.
Yeah. So we're at the wedding, and basically Noma tells Kane, "You have to pick a side. Is it gonna be me or your mama?" And he's like, "I'm gonna stay with. I'm gonna pick my mama. I'm always gonna pick my mama. I'm never gonna betray my mama."
Yeah.
So, basically,
now,
go ahead.
To note that he is tied up in a chair and she has him at gunpoint. So like, just to point that out.
Yes.
It's like, it's not like they're saying their vows. You pick me or your mom. No, she has him at gunpoint with a room full of people tied up. It's going to be me or your mama. And he's with gunpoint in his face saying, I'm not going to betray my mama. So like, that's real.
So then Monet and Drew and Diana, they gonna win. They got the guns. They shooting.
3 against 50.
Right. And so Monet hears, and this is the heartbreaking part of the series. Monet overhears what Kane says, how much he gonna hold her down, all this other stuff. So she sacrifices herself to save her son.
That scene was a video game. Like she ran in there. With her little gun and just sniped each person as she walked up them steps, like boom, 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 slow motion. And then she goes in and just starts blazing and then gets shot up. So it's like it was very sad, because her body lays right in front of Kane as he's laying down tied up, and she's bleeding, and then Drew and Diana come in and they're screaming, "Wake up, mama! Wake up, mama!"
That scene was heartbreaking. As much, and I will say that's the best that Mary J. Blige has acted in her entire series. No,
her death.
I'm
But
serious.
it was pretty powerful.
It was good. It was a good scene.
Because she said, what was her last line?
She was saying, "My babies."
Yeah, that definitely. I felt it. Like, I did feel it.
I felt it. I felt
and
that.
I was like, oh man. And you can see. This is where I was like, at that point, I said, they could make a Tejada's show or a movie, because like that right there was, all three of them are now, they already were unplugged, but now they lost both their parents, they are
cousin brother,
right? Right. So now they're like, and they're even with that scene of them together, I feel like that is their tension between each other has is done. And so like the beef has been, squashed between each other as siblings. So now that if they work together and the way they think, they can be on top. So
I had said from the introduction of the Tejada family, I wanted to see more of them. And then as we got closer, before they made the announcement of this going to be the last season, I was like, the Tejadas, I could see them getting a spinoff. And like you said, at that moment, because again, we got the big Power spinoff announcements at the end of Power. I said at the end of book 2, there's going to be an announcement that there's going to be a Tejada spinoff. There has to be. The way that all this laid out, there has to be a Tejada spinoff. We cannot be done with Kane, Diana, and Drew. There's no way. I said we gotta have a spinoff. But before we get into the disappointment that was not, because I was very disappointed that I'm just going to say it. Very disappointed that announcement was not made. I was like, "Where's the announcement?" And there was none. I was like, "Where is it?" Also, the very last episode basically is a hunt to kill Noma. Also, got to keep in mind Carter. At the end, they basically Carter is. Tariq was supposed to kill Carter, but he was talking too much, and then Carter
understand.
That was so stupid. And so then basically Carter and Tariq in the car, Braden and Effie stop it with Braden basically hits him with the car, and they get in an accident. So they have Carter tied up, and they're gonna kill him. But they're like, no, we can't kill a cop. We need to go in and erase the video. We need to erase the video that shows us killing the other dude. So they got that's basically that's the side. Again, Tariq is the side story.
It's
Tariq is the side. It's about the Tejadas. So they're trying to get Noma. Noma's trying to get Anya to safety. Right. So they can get out of there.
Noma goes crazy.
Noma definitely
calm her down.
Yes, all that stuff, the things, and then basically Anya finally figures out that her mom is a drug dealer and a liar and a murderer.
And hates her.
They end up getting Anya. The crew ends up taking Anya. Was
actually pretty good the way they did that. So
Tariq has a plan. So Tariq pretends. So they trying to find Noma. The whole point is that we need to find Noma, but Anya knows where Noma is. She basically said there's a place that we go that I'm supposed to go. If something happens. So she ends up telling Tariq. So they go to the place. Anya gets out the car, and then she goes to her mom, and next thing we know is and we see Diana is the one that shot and killed poor innocent Anya. And it was like, why you did that? You supposed to shoot Noma. She was like, nah, I need her to know how I feel.
Like, right. I'm like, oh my goodness. This little girl is ruthless. She has broke.
Yeah, she's
Like
done.
she ain't got no more soul. Like she is gone. Like yeah, like maybe her mom was her last piece, but like she ain't got it. Like is she ruthless?
Yes, definitely. And so again, the team is split up because we got to get rid of Carter. We got to get rid of Noma. Basically, and Drew is essential in this because
Right.
he helps. He basically erases the footage off the
Mm-hmm.
computer because he has access to Carter. He erases the footage. Also, um, basically, long story short, they get Carter alone, and they basically he was like, "We need you to kill." I think he told Drew that he needs him to kill. Yeah, he told Drew he needs to kill Tariq, but the tables are turned, and basically they get Carter to confess killing Kamal, and but they know they found out
Well,
that they they
they
they found it out. They figured it out.
mm-hmm.
And they told Carter, and Carter admitted all this other stuff, and his partner heard all that.
Well, the
And
specific turning point was when the partner was like, when he was like, "All right, now if you just kill your partner, we could put it all on your partner, you know."
oh yeah.
Then we'll get you out of here and work together. And he's like, "All right." And then the partner comes out. It's like, oh
Right.
my goodness. He's like, yeah, he is not. He is a snake. And I was like, okay, you can't trust nobody. So like the fact that you killed this other cop, because he was a dirty cop too. The partner was a dirty cop too. So it's like they all dirty. But
I
yeah,
was very, but I will tell you, Jason, I was dissatisfied with that for two reasons. I was dissatisfied with that because one, I wanted Carter to be gone. I needed Carter to be
yeah.
gone.
Mhm.
I don't care about prison. I want him to be gone.
Well, they were
Two,
saying prison for cops is bad. It's worse than death.
that's true, but we're not gonna see it.
No, we're not. Mm-mm.
So I feel like
He
to
didn't
me
have his due justice. He
he
should have.
didn't. So to be
Because
Carter,
it would have
so
made sense to
yeah,
have Tariq kill him, because he is a cop killer. He's killed cops before, and so he can do that. Um, or you know somebody else, but it's like, or honestly, I
Rashad,
thought that's what I thought. I was like,
yes,
because I mean, they could have like as soon as all they had to do, because that's like I got an idea. I thought they were going to just show Rashad Tate, hey, look who killed your brother.
right.
And Rashad Tate was going to be like, all right, give me the gun and I will take care of it myself.
Right. That's I mean, that's the second reason why I was dissatisfied with it because I was
Yeah.
like Rashad Tate should have been there
That,
to hear
mhm.
this whole thing to know
Yeah,
because right
yeah.
now because Rashad thinks the Russians killed his brother.
Right. Which is like, no, like, mm-mm. So
So
that was a, because they had to rush it. Maybe Lorenz Tate wasn't around for the last, couple days or whatever. Because I feel like they could have made that work. That's not that
yes,
hard to do, and that would have put a bow on that side plot in his.
absolutely. Because in my mind, Carter is still alive in prison, and he's probably running the joint. That's what's happening in my
Yeah,
mind.
and
And
that
I
would have
don't
gave him due justice for murdering the only good cop in the thing. It's like
right.
we need some kind of justice for that. So anyway,
Right. Yeah,
that didn't happen.
I don't want happiness for Carter. He needs to nah.
No.
And so then on the flip side with Noma, so basically they go to so Kane has access to Noma's flight plan. And so they make it seem like they booked the plane.
Oh yeah.
And then so Diana and Drew and Kane are waiting for Noma to show up. All these police cars come, and Kane's like, "Don't do nothing stupid. Just let the
cops.
listen to the cops." All this other stuff. So Kane runs off. Diana and Drew get arrested by the cops, and so they go away. And Norma's smiling like, "Oh, I won." And then Kane pops up and basically shoots her point blank in the forehead, and Noma is unalive. And Kane, but Kane gets shot at. Now at that moment, I thought Kane was about to be gone. I said, "No, don't kill Kane," because the police start shooting at Kane. He does get hit, but then they try to find him, and then he's not there. He's gone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, come to find out, he's with Effie. He's bandaged up. He's on the run because his face is plastered everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Effie, another side story, was about to go to be an engineer, robotic school, do all that other
Mm-hmm.
stuff. She has all this
Go to
money that she
Stanford.
saved up. She gives the money that she saved up because she gave it to Kane so that he can go live and
Oh
survive. And I thought
no,
that was the dumbest thing.
no, that was so stupid.
That was the dumbest thing ever.
Mm-hmm. So
Effie, why
now
did
she's
that made me so angry because Effie has been wanting to get out the drug game.
yep, and she has an opportunity to do that because the only reason why she was still in it because Noma was like, "Nah,"
Right,
and now Noma's dead, so she can go. And Kane
right.
was like, "Go do your thing." No, here, and you need to be safe.
She was like, I can always make more money. Girl. Oh,
Kane know the streets. Like, let him figure that out.
that pissed me off so bad.
He was gonna
That pissed,
survive.
that pissed me off so bad. But yeah, so basically, and then he gives her a forehead kiss and goes off.
Yeah.
No, I love you. No, thank you. No,
Mm-hmm.
nothing. Just a
He
teary.
just gave her a whole life savings so she can get out the drug game, so that you can just temporarily flee.
Oh gosh. So yeah, there's that. So basically, Davis McClain. We didn't mention this, but Davis McClain in season 4, he did lose his license, his law license. They were suspended. And at the end, Davis gets because he basically like he pretty much got everybody off. He did his thing.
Yeah, he did his thing.
Everybody
out.
Everybody's out, and he basically pinned everything on Noma. He said Noma is the queen pin that you want because again. Because again, these women, this task force, they have this thing that they really want to bring down St. Patrick so bad. But he was like, no, it's Noma, and so if he said because again, the way they got played made them look very bad, so their reputation is like mud. And Davis is like, yo, if y'all want to come back on top, you need to go ahead and take this win. I'm giving it to you on a platter.
Right,
take it.
Here it is.
And let's move on. So Davis gets his license. He gets his license reinstated. Braden and Effie are now working for Tariq. Oh, also we got to mention. So Tariq has a meeting with Noma's brother, and he's like, basically,
we want the last line of the series.
Yeah, so he's like, I basically want to run. I want you to let me run your drugs through New York. He basically has everything set up. He's working now with Carter's partner. So he got the police on deck. He got Davis, and he has the campuses, all that stuff. And I think they found a new underground that they're gonna run. They're gonna do the clubs again. So basically, Tariq has everything on lock, the whole syndicate on lock. Oh, he did meet up with his mom, and he said, "Yo, I got you taken care of, but you're gonna have to move. Got to go somewhere else now. You can't stay here, and I can't be with you. I'm gonna stay here in New York." And Tasha's like, "No," but he's like, "No, Ma, you gotta trust me. I gotta do this. I want to make sure you safe. You and my sister are safe." So now Tasha has to go somewhere else now. So New York. So basically, Tariq is now running New York.
The last line of the thing. It's like, well, where are you gonna be? I'm gonna be invisible, like a ghost.
Yes. But that's what made me think they shot that scene after they were the announcement came that this is gonna be last season.
Wrap up. They had to tie that up real quick.
Yeah,
because it could have ended with them. It could have ended with the, I think you could have even ended it with Monet dying and not having a Noma still being alive, and that would have been an interesting way of starting off the next season. Because you could have had that wrap up.
But that's what that's what makes so we can go ahead and talk about our feelings on the series finale. This definitely gave season finale 1000%. Which is what I hate about sometimes about the network. Sometimes, I hate when they I don't know, man. I don't. Again, I don't know how it works because with me, I'm independent. I am the network, so
Whatever you want to make your
whatever.
stuff, you say I'm
Right,
done.
right.
I'll
So
make more. You know.
right. So I don't really know how all that really works internally, but I just feel like y'all have. To me, from the outside looking in, I feel like okay, because I assume that power is very expensive to make, especially
Yeah.
with these names that you have on the roster.
Oh, absolutely.
So I would say I feel like in my head, you be like, you know what? I think we want to go ahead and end Power Ghost after season 4.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go ahead and have a meeting with Courtney Kemp and 50 Cent and whoever the showrunner is, and let me say, hey guys, thank y'all so much, but I think we're gonna go ahead and end it on season 4. So we let you know now, so that way y'all can go ahead and write the scripts
Mm-hmm.
and go ahead and tie everything up. Because
Yeah.
I just really hate endings that aren't endings. Like
Yeah. I mean, so I do feel like it was rushed. I felt like I liked that you kind of seeing Tariq be at the kingpin starting, because it's like the beginning he's figuring out how to run drugs, and by the end he knows the system and he has everybody on his payroll, and he's kind of like evolving. So I like that, but I do feel like if you had a little bit more, like I feel like one more season or even 5 more episodes could have made that, a little bit
could have
cleaner.
made a difference.
And even just because I feel like they were just trying to rush it and to tie the bow so that they can get to that end point. Because that end point is a good end point for him to be like, I'm running this. And even with Brayden, like, you ain't my partner, you work for me. So it's like you just got to deal with it.
Right.
And it's like, okay, like that's kind of how it is. It's like, you work for me, and that's how it's gonna be.
Right.
And so I think that is what you like following Tariq. Like, I like that's kind of what I thought he would be like, and so it's like, yeah, he's like you said earlier, he wants to be the better ghost. And I think that what he's learned and what he's seen, he really can be invisible in a way that works. He'd be a student in school and let the money come to him and do his thing. He's got a lawyer that trusts him and that he trusts. He got, cop that he don't trust, but he keeps on the payroll, and he knows the streets. And so, and he's got the St. Patrick name that gives him respect in certain places. And so I think there's a lot that gets him to the place. But yeah, but that they did all that in like 3 minutes. Saying all that. So it's kind of like, okay, because that could have been a couple episodes of him showing like, hey, he's settling in, and then boom, like, now I'm the kingpin.
Yeah. I think we needed two more episodes. But I would say two or 3 more episodes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not gonna give us a whole season, like I said, I think we definitely need at least a couple more episodes just to kind of because I'm all about good pacing. I love good pacing, but at the same time, it was like, again, it felt so rushed and like so much. It was just like I didn't really feel fulfilled. I was just pissed off. To me, I was just pissed off. I stayed up and watched that. I was like, I could watch this later.
Yeah,
because I didn't want to be spoiled. I was like, let me stay up at midnight and watch it. And I was
there was nothing really to spoil. I mean, you knew kind of like, okay, Noma's dead. Car's in jail. Yeah.
I was just like, I really could have went to bed.
Monet. The biggest surprise was Monet getting killed.
Yes, I wasn't expecting that.
Was definitely. I didn't know that was.
And honestly, the biggest surprise for me for the series finale, was Anya getting killed. I didn't expect Anya to get killed either.
That was a lot. She didn't die.
My other complaint with the finale was it was too much dialogue. It was too much talking. I wanted more action. I wanted more. It was a lot of dialogue, especially in the beginning. It was like, what we doing? Why we talking so much? Why we not shooting? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It was just a lot. It was just a lot of dialogue. I guess it just didn't feel series finale to me. But again, I'm going in though knowing, well, assuming that they shot everything before the announcement came down that they were this was going to be the last season. So it just felt incomplete to me. But again, I was more so upset that they did not make the Tejada announcement. I for sure thought I was going to be right, that they was going to make the announcement that they was going to do a Tejada spinoff, because I feel like I just feel like we need more of the kids. We need more of the kids. I feel like we need more of it. I feel like those three. Now, I will say this. I was talking to one of my friends about this. Now, I wouldn't be mad if Kane had his own thing by himself. I wouldn't be mad at that. However, I do not want to see Drew and or Diana by themselves.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If it needs to be Kane
or all
three. Because the way they set it up at the end, because Drew went to art school, Kane's on the run, and then they had Diana standing at the end like she was about to be the new Monet, like she about to be Monet Jr. But yeah, I that's what I need. I definitely need more Tejadas for sure. So we saw the mid credit scene. So Tariq is walking. He gets a phone call. He basically said hello, blah, 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 what you need. I'm on my way. You always gonna be family. Blah, 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 hangs up. So I think the obvious prediction is that was Tommy on the phone, and then Tariq is gonna be on the final season of Force.
Oh yeah,
because Force is wrapping up. Season 3 will be the final season of Force. So I think Tariq is going to go to Chicago and help Tommy with whatever it is that he needs help with. Now, some people are saying that Tariq and Tommy are going to get their own show, which
know.
I don't want.
I don't know about that one.
I don't want another. I don't need another Tariq spinoff, and I definitely don't need another Tommy spinoff.
I don't think I want that. Yeah, I don't think I want that. So yeah, I would love a Tejada spinoff, or and I think they since they wrapped up this one, I don't want to see more. I mean, I wouldn't mind watching this. Well, if he's on that third season, I wouldn't mind watching it to see what's happening. But
yeah, I don't. I got somebody. Yeah, everybody keeps saying, "Oh, we're gonna get another Tariq." No, we don't need another Tariq spinoff. I think we're good. I think we've had 10 years of Tariq.
We have, yeah.
So I think we're good on that. I mean, shout out to Michael Rainey Jr. though. I mean, definitely want to see the brother working for sure. But we don't need another Tariq spinoff. I do think I was talking to one of my friends. I do think if Tariq ends up on Force, it's gonna boost Force. Because Force is honestly the weakest one out of all of them.
Probably watch it because I haven't watched Force, so I'll be one of those people that was like, "Oh, let me follow Tariq over here."
Yeah, yeah. So that is Power Book 2 Ghost,
full
guys.
Series, yeah.
So Jason, Josh, and Marcus, they like to do this thing where they rate the shows and the movies. And I wanna do a special thing over here. I want to do it over here.
All right.
So cool. I want Jason, if you could please explain what you guys' rating system is on what you were talking about this time. So please explain it to me.
Yeah. So we have 4 levels of 5-ish. So the bottom is trash, where it's like, you know what? It's done. That show should not have happened. Garbage, Then there is a do-over where you're like, hey, it was good or bad. Maybe if it was done with a different actor or different writer, different script, just do it again. But these are the things we want you to do better. The other level 3 is like replay. It's like, man, whether you like to watch it to make fun of or watch it again as is, don't change nothing. I just watch it again. It's good, It's good, decent replay. Then the level 4 is like sequel. Like, I love this so much. I want to see more of this. Keep it going. Don't stop. And then the final level, the highest of all high, is neck bleed, where it's like so exciting. This is show or movie is so amazing that the jugular in your neck explodes. And so those are the ratings.
So before we give our ratings, my friend Quad, who was a guest on Carlton's World, he made a prediction that Ghost was going to show up at the end of the series, and I told him, Quad, no, he's not. That's not going to happen. This is not a soap opera in that way. He was insistent, and when I tell you, I was so relieved that he was wrong.
That's funny.
Because it did not happen. Because I was watching it. That's another reason I wanted to go ahead and watch it too. I was like, Quad better not be right. I better not see James Ghost St. Patrick show up at the end of this series. And I was like, thank God he did not. And I actually put a post. I said, Quad, you all right there? Because I mean,
goodness, he didn't show up.
He didn't show up. You all right? But he's insistent that Ghost is still alive. That Ghost is going to show up somewhere.
Okay.
So yeah, there's that.
All right. Did not happen.
So Jason, we're gonna do this is a 2-part question. Well, 2-part rating. I want you to rate the series finale itself.
Okay.
And then I want you to rate the entire series. Yes.
I mean, okay, the series finale, I mean, we kind of talked about it, but for me, the series finale is a do-over. I think that it could have, there's so many things that could have been done better. I think it was rushed. I didn't mind it. Like, it wasn't trash, but I think that, like we mentioned, like adding a few more episodes would have helped us to wrap it up a little bit better, cleaner. I mentioned the, idea of having him end his series with a, graduation to kind of show the full spectrum of Tariq's, journey. I would have liked that. So I would say do over. And then for the entire series, I definitely was looking forward to this show. I watched it immediately as soon as I knew it was coming out. I was on it every single week when I was in town. I'm like making sure I watch it. And so I would rate it and I guess because I loved Power oops, okay. Power was a sequel level show, and I think this is for me that same level. I don't want to do more, so it's like I want them to wrap it up. So I'm not saying to do a sequel, but that's the level that I'm rating it.
Okay, nice. The series finale for me, definitely a do-over, 1000%. And I say that with them having the knowledge that this is going to be the last season.
Mm-hmm.
So I want them to know beforehand, okay, guys, this is going to be it. So let's go ahead and really wrap it up and really make things a little bit more cohesive. Because honestly, bro, with the last season, man, I feel like there was certain episodes. It was a couple episodes. I was like, we don't need this episode. I was like, y'all got 10 episodes. Make all 10 counts.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, I feel like again, that's why I was like, yeah, they definitely shot this before they knew that this was gonna be the last season. So I would definitely say the series finale is a do-over. The series itself, as we mentioned, me and you both agree. Well, you haven't seen the other books, but book 2 to me is the best book out of all 3 of the books. Not the original Power, but the spinoffs. I loved this book. It was my favorite. However, this last season is gonna bring my rating down because I would have said sequel level. not sequel, do another
Mm-hmm.
spinoff, but I would have said sequel level. But this last season to me, it wasn't the best. So I'm gonna have to say replay
Mm.
for book two because
The whole series.
overall the series is still a good series. I'm actually
Hmm.
thinking about Jason actually going back and watching the original Power. And with
Yeah.
that being said, I'm going to probably rewatch book two as well.
Yeah, that
Um,
makes sense. It's gonna be
so
good to see Tariq's development in that show. Like knowing
yes,
where he
yes,
ends, like
yes,
he's just a little son that's in the background at first, but he actually has a very interesting story arc throughout that series. So
yeah. And I definitely want to rewatch the beginning of this season. I mean, I don't
mhm.
remember a lot of things that happened. I know the main stuff that happened in original Power, so I definitely want to rewatch it.
Yeah.
But even with book two, there's some stuff I don't remember. So I'm like, I want to go
Mhm.
back to the beginning. And to your point with Tariq's, his evolution from the beginning Power, the original Power to the end of book two is astounding. But his development in the beginning of book two to the end of
Yeah.
book two is still
Hmm.
should be
Oh
steady
yeah.
because you can
Yep.
definitely see the evolution of Tariq St. Patrick
Hmm.
for sure. Um, so yeah, so those are my ratings for that. Um, what are your thoughts? Because there were two more spinoffs announced. Um, Power Origins, which is supposed to be
Really?
it's supposed to be about young Tommy and young Ghost.
Oh, okay.
Um, and then what was the second one? Uh, hold on, let me look. Do you want to see the origin of Tommy and Ghost?
I mean, I didn't know I wanted to. So yeah, I'm not sure if I will. I guess it depends on if it gets my attention. Um, so yeah, I mean, like it's kind of like I will give it a chance, and if it doesn't get my attention, I probably won't. Because I do want to watch shows like this. I do enjoy it, and so if it does give me what I want in a show, which is some drama, some suspense, some intrigue, some you know some I like because I like what I like about Power is the chess dynamic,
Hmm.
pieces ahead and moving around. Like it makes you think. So I think that's where I don't want just the random shoot 'em up type show. I want something a little bit more dynamic. So if it's like that, because I'm assuming Kanan would be in it,
This is where
or maybe he'd be in jail. I don't know.
I'm confused because so we have Raising Kanan is the obviously it's the prequel to Power and it's
Right,
showing how Kanan became who he is. So
right,
I thought we was gonna see Tommy and Ghost in that because
right.
Kanan
Which
basically
makes
was
sense. They grew up together.
right. But we're getting the origins of Tommy and Ghost. So I'm trying to figure out how they're going to are they gonna collide them some type of way or I'm not exactly sure how that's gonna work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
I'll give it a chance, but I don't know.
yeah. Okay, so I misspoke. I guess it was only one. I thought they made two announcements. But as it
But you
says,
already
pop.
said the one that canceled the what's the name was canceled anyway before it aired, before they
Yeah,
even
yeah,
filmed
yeah,
it probably.
yeah. I'm looking on. I mean, Wikipedia is not really a reliable source. But
Yes, you're a not very reliable Wikipedia.
but according to this, it's saying Power London and Power LA.
That's just
But
random things that people wrote.
that's what it looked like, bro. Um,
Okay,
I don't
let's
know if
see.
I want. Okay, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, overall, this is definitely. I appreciate that we have these shows that we can discuss that gets everybody talking. on the interwebs and podcasts, different things like that. So I definitely appreciate these types of shows, for sure. And I think, and like I said again, it's always great to have these dialogues, to have these conversations. I think it's dope for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that you want to add about Power?
Not that I think of. I think I said what I liked about it.
Cool. I'm trying to think, was there anything else? I don't think there's anything else. I have these things. I'm not, I should do more like Josh and actually take notes and have them ready before we do the podcast, but I don't.
We just talked. It was good.
Yeah.
Maybe if we had notes, I would have had more. But I did look over a couple of recaps just to kind of refresh my memory. But yeah, I think what I said earlier, and I like it. I want to watch. I'll probably indulge in some more older shows and stuff like that to kind of get my fix.
Yeah, I think I covered everything. Like I said again, I say that I had said that to say because sometimes when I record these pods after we finish and I'm like editing, I was like,
come up with something.
That's what it was. That's what I want. That's what I wanted to say. No, I think we got everything though. Jason, man, thank you so much. I definitely appreciate you. If the people want to follow you, they want to know more information about you, how can they get that?
Yeah, so Smiley Jason _ on Instagram is a good way to follow me. My website is smileyjason.com. You can check me out, see what I'm up to.
Nice. That's what I was gonna say. I would not be mad if I would have not have been mad if Davis McClain would have had his own spinoff. And I said that I think I would have been cool to see him in the law world because we already know McClain is gonna do whatever it takes. And so we definitely could see again Power. And how all that plays out in law, in the courtroom, all that
like
stuff.
I think type stuff. Like you see that kind of like, because he's that would be I would watch that, and I think Method Man could hold the show.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. I'm glad that came to me while you were
Power Law.
Give my man Jason his creator credit. Give him his executive producer credit right now.
Oh goodness,
Courtney Kemp and 50 Cent. Give it to him. But no, man. Yeah, if you're listening. But no, Jason, thank you so much. I definitely appreciate you for taking the time out to chat with me. Definitely appreciate it. All right, y'all. That's it. We're gonna wrap it up. Thank y'all again for listening and watching. And this has been Carlton's World. Y'all be blessed.